Working in Canada by work permit. Frequent asked questions. How to find a job in Canada. It may feel daunting to begin the search for employment in Canada. Thankfully, there are many resources for those seeking an official job offer from a Canadian employer. When beginning the job hunt, we recommend making use of Canadim's job hunt resources, listed below. Be sure to take the time to prepare your resume and tailor your social media presence before sending out any applications. Canadian Resume Guide. Social Media Presence Guide. Certain positions in Canada may require a person to know their National Occupation Classification Code, NOC code. This code is used to classify all types of employment by Canadian standards. Canadim has put together a tool to assist with finding your NOC code as well. Benefits of working in Canada. Working in Canada has many benefits. Canadian labor laws ensure that workplaces have a high degree of safety, and that all employers follow certain laws and regulations to ensure the well-being of their employees. As well, Canadian wages are competitive and foreign nationals are required, by law, to be offered wages equivalent to their Canadian counterparts. Finally, some Canadian work permits enable the spouse and children of workers to accompany them to Canada. Another significant benefit for those interested in immigrating to Canada permanently is that by gaining Canadian work experience, a foreign national may increase their eligibility for a number of Canadian permanent residency programs. The following programs award value, in varying degrees, for Canadian work experience. Express Entry. Canadian Experience Class, CEC. Federal Skilled Worker, FSW. Federal Skilled Trades, FST. Provincial Nominee Programs, PNPs. Quebec Immigration Programs. Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. How can I extend my work permit? Generally, temporary foreign workers that are eligible to extend their work permit must apply online. If you plan to extend your work permit, it is recommended to do so at least 30 days before the expiry date of your current permit. While this is a recommendation, technically an applicant has until the last day of expiry to apply for the extension request. Contact us to learn more about whether you are eligible to extend your work permit. What is my work permit number? You can find your work permit number on the top right-hand corner of your permit, and begins with the letter U. Can I work in Canada without a work permit? Foreign nationals must obtain a work permit to work in Canada with few exceptions. Can I get a Canadian work permit without a job offer? Foreign nationals interested in working in Canada usually require a written job offer from a Canadian employer to apply for a work permit. However, there are some circumstances that allow foreign workers to apply for an open work permit without a job offer, which allows them to work anywhere in Canada, for any employer. Do Canadian work permits have an age limit? Foreign workers must be at least 18 to obtain a Canadian work permit. There is no maximum age for work permit applicants, unless applying under the International Experience Canada, IEC, program. Can I apply for Canadian health insurance while on a work permit? Healthcare in Canada is administered by each province and territory, which operate their own insurance plan. Certain provinces allow work permit holders to apply for provincial health insurance coverage. Most provinces require residents to be physically present for a certain number of days before becoming eligible for health insurance. What is the difference between a Canadian work permit and visa? A Canadian work permit authorizes foreign nationals to work in Canada, whereas a visa is a travel document that is used to enter the country. A visa or temporary resident visa, TRV, is a physical sticker placed in your passport that acts as a travel document, allowing foreign nationals to enter Canada or transit through a Canadian airport. If you leave Canada, you cannot return without a valid visa, or ETA, even if you have a valid work permit. Do I need IELTS to apply for a Canadian work permit? Canada does not require individuals applying for a work permit to write the IELTS, or any other English or French language exam. However, if the job offer specifically requires French and/or English skills, and the applicant is from a non-French or English country, evidence of language abilities such as a language test could be required by the officer. How long are Canadian work permits valid? Canadian work permits are typically valid for a period of 1 to 2 years, with some exceptions. A visa officer will usually not issue a work permit for longer than the validity of an applicant's passport, or past the validity indicated on the applicant's Labour Market Impact Assessment, LMIA. A work permit will also not be issued for longer than the foreign national has applied to stay in Canada for, or beyond the duration that is required for the job offer. The length of a work permit may also be shorter depending on the program the applicant is applying under. Do I need my Canadian work permit to enter Canada? If you travel outside of Canada, you will need your work permit in addition to a valid travel document to re-enter. A work permit allows you to work in Canada, but alone does not permit you to travel to Canada. To come to Canada, you will need either a temporary resident visa, or an electronic travel authorization, ETA, in addition to a valid passport. Can my employer sponsor me to work in Canada? Canadian employers don't sponsor candidates to work in Canada, but can assist in bringing foreign workers by securing a Labour Market Impact Assessment, LMIA, or submitting an electronic job offer, LMIA exempted categories. Canada requires that any Canadian employer who wishes to hire a foreign worker must obtain an LMIA or submit an electronic job offer. Once an employer secures an LMIA or the A number electronic job offer, it can be used to apply for a Canadian work permit.